What is going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here to do my second quick hit scouting report video that I was planning to do today. It's my last one of the week for week 9. This one is for both the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the Patriots beat the Panthers. The Panthers obviously started off 3-0. They've been struggling as of late. The Patriots are actually rounding out to be one of the better teams in the AFC and looking like a strong possibility to be a wild card contender. They beat the Panthers. Panthers are now 4-5. Patriots are now 5-4. They pretty much beat the shit out of the Panthers, 24-6. Let's go ahead and jump further into this. Let's get the rest of the stats and statistics. New England had 273 total yards. Carolina had 240. New England had 122 through the air. Carolina had 162. New England had a $151 on the ground. Carolina only had 78. New England was 4.6 yards per play. The Panthers 4.2. Obviously, so neither of these offenses were super explosive. Didn't put up a ton of yards and, not particularly great yards per play. New England lost one fumble and threw one interception, and Carolina threw 3 interceptions. New England allowed 2 sacks. Carolina allowed just 1. New England was 42% though on third downs, whereas Carolina was only 27%. New England had the ball for 32-29. The Panthers had it for 27-31. New England had 6 penalties. Carolina had 10. Okay, now let's go a little bit further. Sam Darnold was 16 of 33 for 172 and 3 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey, 14 rushes for 52 yards and a 3.7. DJ Moore, 2 rushes, 14 yards and a 7 average. In the receiving game, Christian McCaffrey led the way there, 4 of 5 for 54. Chuba Hubbard, 1 of 2 for 33. DJ Moore, 3 of 7 for 32. Amir Abdullah, 4 of 5 for 30. So, obviously we're going to get to the league standings in a bit. The Carolina offense, the Panthers offense is not particularly scary at all. Christian McCaffrey is really their only weapon, and Sam Darnold's just kind of whatever. I've never been particularly big on him myself. But, our defense should do really well against their offense. We'll get into the league standings in a bit, but they actually do have a really good defense, and that could be a bit troublesome for our offense. So when we do get to that game, I think that there's a good possibility that it ends up being pretty low scoring, and either whichever offense can do just enough or, a little bit more than the other team's offense, or if, defensive or special teams touchdowns or points comes into it, that could be the difference. Patriots-wise, Mac Jones was 12 of 18. He barely even threw the ball. 139 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ramondre Stevenson had 10 rushes for 62 yards. Obviously, that's because in this particular game, their running game actually took off. I thought they were going to be a lot more run-heavy throughout the season than they have been. They've actually been relying a lot more on the pass game than I expected, but Mac Jones has delivered for his part in that. And, that's part of the reason why they're 5-4, because he's actually operating pretty well within the system overall. Anyway, Stevenson was 10 for 62 and 6.2. Brandon Bolden, 8 rushes, 54 yards and a 6.8. Damian Harris, 15 rushes, 30 yards, 1 touchdown and a 2 average. In receiving, Ramondre Stevenson led the way, 2 of 2, 44. Kendrick Bourne, 3 of 4 for 34. Brandon Bolden, 2 of 2 for 27. Hunter Henry, 2 of 3 for 19 and a touchdown. The Patriots, I think, are going to be overall the harder team when we're talking about down the stretch. The Patriots do have a pretty good defense overall, just like the Panthers do. Again, we'll get to the league standings here in a moment, but their offense has actually been surprisingly good overall, considering they do have a rookie quarterback in there. And so I think that when it comes to the Patriots game, I do not think that it is a guaranteed win for the Dolphins. And I think as of right now, the Panthers game is kind of a toss-up, although I'm definitely, if the defense can keep playing like they did in the Ravens game, then I think that's definitely a winnable game and should be a winnable game and worthy of a win prediction once we get to that. That's obviously in 2 weeks. So the Carolina game is in 2 weeks. But anyway, so let's get into these league standings because it does paint a broader picture. And when it comes to offense, like I said, as you will see, the Carolina offense is not particularly great when it comes to total yards, passing yards, and points. They're pretty good when it comes to rushing. Obviously, like I said, that's because of Christian McCaffrey, who is pretty much their only weapon. The Patriots, though, are pretty good in all of these categories. And obviously, as you can see, in the top half of the league and pretty much every single one of them. So their offense is actually, they're better than our offense. Let's just say that. So that's unfortunately the case, but it is. It is the reality. So Carolina is currently 22nd in total yards with 2,868. New England is 15th with 3,110. In yards per game, Carolina is 27th with 318.7. New England is 19th with 345.6. When it comes to passing and total passing over the season, Carolina is 23rd with 2,019. New England is 12th with 2,284 yards on the season. Per game average, Carolina is currently at 28th with 224.3. And New England is 16th with 253.8. Both of these teams, by the way, have currently played 9 games, and I believe both of them are expected to play this week. So I don't think that either. I know the Patriots are playing. I don't think Carolina's on a bye. Both teams have, but they might be. I'm not sure about that. But as of right now, both teams have played 9 games. Rushing, Carolina is currently 12th with 994 total, 17th in per game average at 110.4. The Patriots are currently 15th in total with 961 on the season and 106.8 per game, which is 19th. When it comes to points, the Patriots are 10th in both categories with 230 total points and 25.6 on the season. The Panthers have 171 total, which has them at 25th or 24th after ties, and 19 per game, which is 26th or 25th after ties. Defensively, and now again, this is actually where it gets to be pretty scary for the Dolphins when it comes to the individual matchups and these games, on the future, because our offense is not very good and they do have a really good defense. Both of these teams have pretty damn good defenses. So defense, especially Carolina, and that's actually what makes them even, both of these teams, though, are pretty, they're not good with getting fumbles, but that's really about it. Otherwise, they're pretty damn good in all these other categories. So defensively, the Carolina Panthers are giving up only 293.1 yards per game, which is good for second. The Patriots are 340.3, which is ninth. Passing yards, the Panthers are only giving up 200 yards, which is currently second. The Patriots are 10th at 246. Carolina is 19th in rushing yards with 111.7. The Patriots are 108.9, which is 14th. In points per game, Carolina is giving up 20.3, which is currently 7th. The Patriots are giving up 18.9, which is currently 4th. Takeaways, the Panthers have 10 on the season. So when it comes to overall takeaways, the Panthers are not great. They have 10, which is 20th, 9th after ties. The Patriots, though, have 16 on the season, which has them currently 4th in the league. When it comes to interceptions, this is the strong suit when it comes to takeaways for both teams, although Carolina currently only has 7, which is 18th or 6th after ties. But the Patriots are 1st in the league in interceptions with 13. When it comes to fumbles, again, neither team is particularly great. Both teams have 3. Carolina is technically 26th and Patriots are 24th on the list, but they're both tied for 6th. When it comes to sacks, both of these teams are all right. The Panthers are actually pretty damn good with 23 sacks on the season. That's good for 6th in the league or 4th after ties. And the Patriots are in the middle of the pack with 19 on the season, 17th or 7th after ties. When it comes to passes defense, both of these teams are pretty damn good. Carolina's in the middle of the pack, but the top half of the pack with 35 on the season, 13th or 8th after ties. The Patriots, though, are second only behind us. And, of course, both of these teams have played one less game than we have, but that's good for second in the league. And now when it comes down to third down defense, both of these teams are really good. The Panthers are exceptional at 33.3%, which is good for fourth in the league. And the Patriots are 14th in the top half at 39.5. So again, these defenses are going to be really tough for our offense to go against. But offensively, and you know, we do have a defense that has really high potential, and so that could help us. But I think the Patriots offense is definitely better than ours. I would say the Carolina offense is maybe marginally better, but not even really. I mean, because like I said, Sam Darnold's not really all that scary, and Christian McCaffrey's basically their only weapon. So I do think we actually have more weapons on offense, and that certainly is a very winnable game. The Patriots game, I'm not so sure at this time. But anyway, here are the Dolphins' current offensive and defensive league standings, so you can do a little bit of a comparison there for yourself. And with that, that is going to wrap up my video. Before I get out of here, make sure to remind you about the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all your sports, football, basketball, whatever. And they are looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself. Look in the description box for the links to that. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.